Good afternoon on what is a cold, blustery and changeable day. It is Friday the 26th of November and I am in the reading nook with some parcels. Here we go. So the next one I'm going to open is this one. I'll find out what's in here. So open, and what is Gamemasterclass on how to run outstanding role-playing games by Chris Cunliffe from Parallel Publishing. Now, Parallel Publishing is best known for publishing Parallel Worlds, the role-playing magazine, gaming magazine, general sort of science fiction and fantasy sort of magazine, which I have done an unboxing of quite a few times. So what's this about? In demand like no other before, a good game master is a valuable asset. As more and more people try running their own games, they're discovering that it's not as easy as it looks. Increasingly, role-playing games are moving from the mechanical battle simulators of old and becoming more like shared social stories. Tabletop gaming today, whether online or in person, that's important because obviously so much of gaming in the last 2 years has moved online, involves much more than stat blocks and rule modifiers. The best game masters must have a deft grasp of the social dynamics of play and understanding of what each player seeks from the experience and the organisation and flexibility to ensure that everyone has a good time, including themselves. In this book, veteran game master Chris Cunliffe shares decades of insight on how to run games excellently, from how to resolve player disputes to how to create a beguiling world, from creating a memorable villain to managing improvisation. We cover everything the rulebooks don't tell you. Designed with beginner and intermediate gamers in mind, Gamemasterclass aims to help you elevate your games, keep your players spellbound, and most importantly, ensure that you too have a good time. So this is, let's have a look. It's 76 pages, full colour throughout. So here we go. Very much done in the, basically you can tell this is a book that's come through off drive-through RPG. The printing, the choice of paper, and the kind of art, the sort of like the colour palette is will be familiar to you. Basically, we open up with a jargon buster. Nice idea there. Basically, the shot of the potential game master in a maze, and here are some basic sort of terminology which you will get used to, and acknowledgements. Before we go into the contents, we have a total of 16 different chapters, which starts off with the importance of issue 0, and then 3 to 16 bring it to a close. And obviously, session 0. Basically, it's always generally a good idea because essentially it sets expectations for you and your players, what they expect, what you expect, and you can basically agree as to where the game is going to, generally where the thrust of the game is going to go and what it's about. I know I've had games break down because we didn't have one of those, and there was a dispute about, essentially the nature of the game. So still a good idea. So yeah, introduction begins with it's almost 50 years since the introduction of Dungeons and Dragons, and it is, you think it is 2021, so it's only 3 years away, folks. So we go into the importance of session 0, things to discuss before you start the campaign, and how to do so. Good advice, good starting point. Although perhaps, you could have started beforehand discussing the type of games that people, basically approaching people, that sort of thing, agreeing and sort of like trying to get them to play. I don't know, sort of like in getting people interested in play is what I mean, more the part potentially. So we have then we have assembling the cast, which covers character creation and party creation. So sort of classic kind of terminologies. And I think what's interesting, what I like about this automatically is that we have different types of art depictions. So we've got a classic piece of look like fantasy artwork, character, magic user of some kind being menaced by a dragon. And then we get on to character creation, and we've got basically an image of children facing something mysterious. So we've got almost like a switch between going from Dungeons and Dragons to something, so basically the kids in peril genre, whether that's Tales from the Loop or kids on bikes. Okay, creating your world, comparing techniques of world building. So again, it's a bit. I don't know whether that immediately follows that session. I mean, it might well be. Obviously not without reading it in detail. It depends how much you are involving the players in that creation. And I think you have journey or location comparing travelogue games with single setting games. I sometimes think that really this kind of thing, I don't know, is whether that's really the point where you should be discussing this. This is the point is where you are looking at setting up your game rather than having issue 0. That issue 0 should have been perhaps further on when you come to the table rather than necessarily setting up what you are. As I say, this is just, as I say, first impressions. Populating your world, creating interesting NPCs rather than second guard from the left. I don't know, second guard from the left might be quite interesting. But if you give them a chance, go and have a chat. Of course, crafting a good, compelling villain. And again, we have a mysterious force behind there. Might be villainous, might not. Probably is for that chapter. Your voice in the party, game master player characters, so GMCs or NPCs, non-player characters. How important they are, and essentially they are obviously important because they help bring the story alive. They are part of your world. They have motivations and that they want to do as well. And then story, narrative, and plot. Okay. Again, it's all similar. Some chapters of about a similar length. We are running sort of like about 3 to 5 pages in length. Yeah, 3 to 5 pages in length. Writing, plot, and managing pace. How to keep your games moving. So this is actually in play. And I think probably you could have done them with a differentiation between in play and out of play. I think here is my main problem here. So, for example, improvisation, how to respond when your players move off the map. Here be dragons. Okay, yes, important, but important when you get to play rather than sort of like before that session 0, which you had discussing start right back at the beginning. They know more than me. Yes, how to deal with players more experienced than me, how to recover from mistakes. Well, obviously, in my experience, I can be a bit, I can be a bit forward in my knowledge if I know a game and I've played it. If only to be helpful, not necessarily yes, to correct the referee if he's got something wrong, not to criticise. Because basically, only if it's a good play. If the GM wants to ignore that, that's fine. I'm not going to push it by saying, oh, hold on a minute, I'm not, that's just me. I'm trying to be helpful more than necessarily be a rules lawyer. Can I buy a shovel? How to respond to a seemingly irrelevant and innocuous question that will lead somewhere weird. Now, could be an interesting chapter because essentially one of the things that happens in role-playing games, and some game masters I know despair of them, it's when players decide their characters want to go shopping. You've got a bag full of gold and you don't know what to do with it. Well, let's go shopping and see what else I can buy. And you spend a whole session shopping. You get to a new city, you go shopping. And so sometimes, that's really boring. But I think here this is addressing sort of like, how to respond to a seemingly irrelevant and innocuous question in which will lead somewhere weird. It's an ordinarily interesting question. Can I buy a shovel? Where will it lead you? Okay. Is there something going on at the shovel sellers, for example? I don't know. But you never know. Anyway, what to do when dice fail? What to do when your dice don't go your way? what players want, managing players that want different things and helping everybody have their spotlight. That's a difficult task, I admit, and because players want different things, and especially difficult to do it online because essentially you've got multiple players. Trying to give them attention, time in the spotlight and attention is always a bit difficult. Okay, from table to desktop, benefits of running RPG online. Yep, never relevant than today. You know, I'm running my game. The game I'm running is online, and I'm enjoying it. It's I wouldn't say it's hard work because they always are, but it is enjoyable. And then bring to a close. How to win the campaign. That's very long term. Whoa! Oh. That's very basic. We just have a gust of wind blow things down, so yeah, and then it's conclusion. So I think this basically game masterclass will fit into basically designed as an introductory booklet. The other one to look at is there's a book by Robin D. Laws as well, how to how to be a good GM. So they're both good. They're both useful. The other thing to look at is Play Dirty by John Wick if you want advanced ones, but essentially I think this might be a decent starting point. So this is Game Masterclass from Parallel Publishing. It's new on drive-through RPG, drive-through RPG at the moment, so check it out. In the meantime, thank you once again for watching another unboxing of the Nook. Hope you've enjoyed this one, and if you have, please click the like button down below. And if you've got any comments or feedback, please post them. Do take the time to read them and respond. And lastly, if you want to be alerted to yet more unboxings in the Nook, where you will see me out here in the garden with a cat who is not at ours some of the time, a nice hot cup of tea, and a book or even a game, which I will unbox and talk about to the best extent of my knowledge for roughly 10 minutes or so, then please do hit that subscribe button. Okay, once again, thanks for watching, and I hope to see you again for another unboxing in the Nook very soon. Bye for now.